Does my employer own the copyright to the content that I create? This was a question that was brought up through LinkedIn, I believe, and I reformatted this question significantly, and the answer is often yes. And so if you hire an employee to create art for you, to create software for you, to write newsletters or magazine articles for you, then that is work for hire. And that means that you are working for your employer, creating this content, and therefore your employer gets the exclusive copyright to that property. Now, this is not true in every country. So this is an American specific answer, and I believe it is also true in Canada. But there are some places in Europe and probably elsewhere where this is not true. So you will need to check with someone local if you are not a US citizen and you're asking this question. But generally speaking, yes, your employer owns the copyright to the things that you create, even if you create them after hours, even if you create them on your own computer. Although when we start to get into those details, we do get to be a little bit less clear and more of a murky area. And so in this case, you're going to want to check with your company's policy. But this is the rule of thumb for copyright questions. If in doubt, ask. And so very often employers will freely grant you permission to make contributions. So I worked for an open source software company. I've actually done that multiple times. And employers would often grant their employees permission to make contributions to the company. In that case, those the organizations who receive those contributions might ask for a contract to be signed from the employer saying that they are okay with this. And that's fine. And I've helped people with those contracts, both in my current law firm and at previous jobs. But that is something that you should probably check into. And another gray area that is not real clear is what happens in situations where you were hired to answer the phones or do something, and then you want to create content that's not at all related to your job. Well, then we start to get to be a less clear situation, and you might actually own the copyright. If you have questions about this, you are free to reach out to me, and you're welcome to even email me, text me, or something along those lines. Hit me up on social media, and I might be able to give you some pointers. And if this is really a big deal to you, you can, of course, hire me to answer it specifically for your situation. That often requires me to look at any employment agreements that you have with your company and possibly help you develop a strategy of talking to your employer without putting yourself at risk.